Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
There are new concerns as the highly contagious Delta variant takes hold of the United States. We'll tell you why experts are warning of a full-on resurgence of the coronavirus. Plus, we're watching the weather for you this afternoon as warmer temperatures are returning, as well as shower and storm chances in the 7 days. So Brandon will have a full look at that. But we begin with a new report from Michigan Senate Republicans that debunks any claims of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election. Today, we're getting to see the results of the investigation that was launched months ago by Michigan's Republican-led Senate Oversight Committee. And it calls for Attorney General Dana Nessel to consider investigating people who have made false allegations about Michigan's results for their own benefit. The committee did a deep dive into several areas, including the vote count at Detroit's TCF Center and the results in Antrim County. Now, you might remember initial results in Antrim County showed a victory for Joe Biden when Donald Trump was actually ahead. It was attributed to human error, not a problem with voting machines, and it was fixed. But it became a focal point of former President Trump's challenge of the results and calls of voter fraud. In the 55-page report, the committee says people promoting the fraud theories in Antrim County are, quote, in a position of zero credibility. It also says people should be, quote, confident the results represent the true results of the ballots cast by the people of Michigan. Joe Biden defeated then-President Donald Trump by 155,000 votes here in our state of Michigan. The Antrim County clerk spoke just a little while ago at a rally. She said she can't comment because of pending litigation, but did thank her supporters.
We've been through a horrible turmoil, and we have to get things back to normal. I would like to thank the 82 county clerks that have had my back day in and day out since November 3rd. I have gotten phone calls, letters, cards. Everybody has been so supportive.
The committee's 3 Republicans are recommending legislation to close what they call vulnerabilities in future elections. There are already bills pending for things like tougher voter ID rules. Democrats, however, oppose the measures. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed a new bill today to help support families and businesses recovering from the pandemic. The bill would use the remaining $2.2 billion in federal relief funding from December, and that money will then go to food and rental assistance.
The resources that we have can propel us forward and help us get back to normal and to grow stronger in many ways. We have a big task ahead, but it is defined by building, creating, and growing. Building businesses, creating jobs, and growing our economy.
Additional funding will go to help local governments continue providing essential services and sends disaster relief dollars directly to counties, cities, and hospitals for their COVID vaccination efforts. Also making headlines at this hour, former mayor of the city of Detroit, Dennis Archer, is currently discussing Proposal P. Now, if you're not familiar, Proposal P is a proposed Detroit charter. And in other words, if passed, it would revise the city's current governing laws. Mr. Archer reviewed the proposal, and here's a little bit of what he had to say about it.
Yes, there needs to be changes. I don't question that at all. But the Charter Commission as proposed would hurt the city. I don't want to see our city to have to go back into bankruptcy.
Supporters of Proposal P say that it will modernize and improve the city's governing document. Those who oppose it say it'll cost Detroit $2 billion over 4 years and make it impossible for the city to submit a balanced budget, which would then or could force the city back into bankruptcy. Proposal P will appear on the August ballot, but whether a vote on the measure will count will be determined by the Michigan Supreme Court. So, of course, we'll keep you posted on more of what Mr. Archer has had to say about that on later editions of Local 4 News. Later this afternoon, President Biden is expected to outline the actions that his administration is taking to curb the recent rise in violent crime and gun violence. Among other measures, President Biden plans to announce tougher enforcement standards for gun dealers who violate federal laws. In the meantime, the president's agenda is in jeopardy, trapped in a divided Senate. For now, there will be no debate on voting rights, and while there's hope for a deal on police reform, infrastructure is still up in the air. Tracy Potts has a look at where things stand.
That 50-50 Senate vote left voting rights in limbo. The president, in a statement, responded saying that lawmakers suppressed what was supposed to be a bill against voter suppression.
Voted in the affirmative. The motion is not agreed to.
A no from the U.S. Senate on debating voting rights. Democrats' plan for now is dead.
This vote was the starting gun, not the finish line.
This is not a federal issue. It ought to be left to the states.
The White House vows to push for reform.
We support the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and the fight is not over.
There's more hope on police reform. A month past the one-year anniversary of George Floyd's death, Democrats and Republicans are working together.
I think if we're going to have an agreement in principle, it will be this week.
It could all blow up, as you very well know.
But there's no sign of significant compromise yet on infrastructure. President Biden sent senior advisors to Capitol Hill to meet with both parties. There's a $1 trillion compromise on the table that fixes roads and bridges, but rejects many of the president's other priorities.
I think where there's a will, there's a way. And if the White House really wants a deal, there's a deal to be had there.
We'll keep talking, and keep working with him. You can't give up.
Questions remain on how to pay for it. Today, President Biden speaks about the rising crime rate in U.S. cities, pitching his ideas, including stemming the flow of firearms, using American Rescue funds to hire more officers, giving cities that option, asking Congress for $5 billion for community intervention, more summer jobs, summer programs, and reentry programs for people who've been behind bars. I'm Tracy Potts.
All right, Tracy, thank you. Let's turn our attention now at noon to the forecast as we give you a live look outside through our sky cam there. Meteorologist Brandon Roos standing by with a look at what we can expect on this, well, slightly cooler Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to get into the 70s here, which we didn't do it all yesterday, but we're battling a couple of showers coming right through the heart of Metro Detroit, just light rain over Livonia, and that again headed toward downtown or downriver, but most of this struggling to hit the ground. It is kind of dark here in Ann Arbor, so we do have a little bit of thinning of the clouds coming and going, but a few more showers also a possibility. Middle upper 60s right now. 74 this afternoon. We have afternoon Tigers baseball, and again, a couple of little splash and dashers, but no lightning, nothing too crazy, so really nothing to fear, and just count it a benefit if you get a shower or two. Again, some pockets or holes in the clouds, so we'll get a little blue sky, Evrod, and that will send us into the 70s. Get ready for the 80s coming up.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Let's turn our attention back to the coronavirus now. As experts say that dangerous Delta variants could cause a full-on resurgence of the coronavirus here in the U.S. in just the coming months. There are 25 known cases reported here in Michigan right now. The most recent model finds that a highly contagious variant, even coupled with 75% of eligible Americans getting vaccinated, could result in more than 3,000 deaths related to COVID-19 per week at various points during the fall and winter. At a 75% vaccination rate, that's kind of a far-off dream right now. COVID hospitalizations and deaths continue to trend downward, but so have vaccination rates. As Tom Costello reports, with just a week and a half to go, the White House is now acknowledging that it will likely miss President Biden's goal of 70% of Americans vaccinated by the 4th of July.
This morning, the White House is acknowledging a setback, expecting now to fall short of President Biden's goal of vaccinating 70% of adults with at least one shot by July 4th. 18 to 26-year-olds particularly lagging behind.
The reality is many younger Americans have felt like COVID-19 is not something that impacts them, and they've been less eager to get the shot.
Vaccination efforts are now shifting from high-volume centers to local outreach and giveaways to reach hesitant young adults.
I don't feel like the vaccine is necessary to me.
And also it's not fully FDA approved, so I feel like once we have more information, I think I'll be more open to get it as well.
Nationwide, the number of new shots into arms has been trending down recently. So far, nearly 2/3 of American adults have received at least one dose. 20 states and D.C. are beating that national rate. But West Virginia, which once led in vaccinations, is now falling to the back of the pack. And 4 states, Mississippi, Louisiana, Wyoming, and Alabama, have yet to hit 50% vaccination rates. Those unvaccinated Americans particularly vulnerable to the highly contagious Delta variant, which now accounts for 20% of all new cases, doubling in just 1 week.
The Delta variant is currently the greatest threat in the U.S. to our attempt to eliminate COVID-19.
With children under 12 still not eligible for the vaccine, there's growing concern that more kids will catch and spread the mutated virus as states continue to drop COVID restrictions.
I think the reality is that kids are becoming more likely to be vectors of these new variants.
While it's too soon to tell if the Delta variant will be worse for children than other versions of the virus, some parents now worry schools will not be taking the extra precautions in the fall.
I see everything reopening and a lot of people sort of acting like it's over. And I keep remembering that my kid is under the age of 12 and therefore not yet vaccinated. So for him, it's not over yet.
Right now, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson are all involved in clinical trials to see how well kids 12 and under handle the vaccines, but that will take a few more months before they can hopefully start vaccinating kids 12 and under. I'm Tom Costello in North Bethesda, Maryland. Back to you.
Tom, thank you. Still to come here at noon, a French engineer says that he solved the case of the Zodiac serial killer. We'll tell you why online sleuths are skeptical and what law enforcement officials have to say about the potential break in the case.